Street Corner Messiahs are a soulful folk roots band based in Middleton and are about to release a new album called Tales from the Tenderloin. Through a mutual friend from Middleton, they contacted me to ask if I wanted to join them on their odyssey that began in 1996. Wayne Mcsweeney was the voice at the other end of the phone, and I was glad that he rang, so I rang him back to find out more. Wayne, thanks a million for getting in touch. We have a mutual friend, Danny McCarthy. He's great for helping people out, very involved in the scene in Middleton, and that's where you are as well. But your story goes back to about 25 years ago, and it's the inspiration behind an album that you are launching tomorrow called Tales from the Tenderloin. And when you sent me the artwork, one thing that caught my eye was a piece that just read simply "The Story," and it began with, "In the early hours of June the 24th, 1996, George King and yourself, Wayne Mcsweeney, walked into ... What happened next?"
Well, yeah. Hi, Conor, and thanks a million for having me on.
Yeah.
In the early hours of that morning, myself and George walked into the Pinecrest restaurant in San Francisco, which is a 24-hour restaurant in the theatre district. And we walked there from an area, a very urban area, called the Tenderloin. We arrived there at about 2:30 and left about 3:30. And approximately 3 hours later, two people who worked in the Pinecrest, they'd worked together for 30-odd years, had an incident, and the chef shot the waitress.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's gone down in history now as well. Lots of people said they were there. We didn't actually see the event. We were there a few hours beforehand.
Yeah.
But as we wandered off out through the theatre district, we went back through the Tenderloin, and this is just kind of a document or a story of the people we met that night. I'm not sure why we met this particular bunch of people.
Yeah.
Their stories were all very human, and it really touched me in a way. And I guess thinking about this, I thought these are people who are forgotten because it is very urban and it's very working class and maybe even underclass.
Yeah.
But these people have stories, and there's somebody's brother, mother, son, daughter. And so it just follows myself and George moving through and meeting people. One of the really funny ones was Robin Williams lived in San Francisco, and part of his rider for making movies is that whoever was making the movie had to employ a number of homeless people to work as extras or whatever jobs they would find them, which was quite funny and challenging for people, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the people we met was telling us that he had worked on Mrs. Doubtfire. His catchline was, "Can you imagine if Mrs. Doubtfire woke up and found out Robin Williams is dead?" And that just blew me away. How do you even think about this stuff? So we have that conversation in there. We also have, and I would be a huge Robin Williams fan, the morning after Robin died, I was devastated the night before. I'd seen the ticker tape.
Yeah.
And I sat down and wrote it's like a nursery rhyme for him. Within that area as well, there's quite a few veterans.
Yeah.
They all had a story. We met a few of them, and they spoke about the importance of human contact, even now, the place that they're at. But even when they were soldiers, riding home, putting their best foot forward, because there is this kind of idea, this stoic idea in America, and it may be the same here. It's important to stand up for your country and put your best foot forward. Mm. And in many cases, these were young boys and young girls who were absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
But they put their best foot forward.
You can actually see it. I'm looking at the list of 13 or so tracks, and, you know, as you're talking, I'm looking at Fly, Robin, Fly. I'm looking at The Battle. I'm looking at The Tenderloin Waltz, Two Homies, All the Dogs, and of course A Voice in San Francisco. And that's what you've done. You've given them all a voice. These voices, were they kind of rattling around in your head for a few years?
Yeah, some of them were. Some of them, these songs were written probably a week afterwards, or you take notes of things somebody may have said. You say, "Oh, geez, that was important," or "That's very memorable," or "Why has it touched me?" So I would write it down.
Good.
So there had been rattling around. I think the last one that I wrote was only a couple of years ago, the Tenderloin Waltz, which was in this area. There was a large opiate problem. And there was a number of people I became familiar with, because you do, when you live in their neighborhood, you get to know them or to avoid them, or you engage with them somehow. And because of the opioid problem, you have a lot of people who present on the streets in a terrible state. They all had this particular walk. It was like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And you would often see it. And for me, it became like a waltz. there was this dance, and I just called it the Tenderloin Waltz. I imagined addiction and it calling people, directing them, and that's kind of, and it's a tango.
Eventually, you moved on from San Francisco.
I'm Irish. I missed the Irishness of Ireland, you know. And America, I guess, there was too many things that were foreign, too many things that I was afraid of for my kids as well, you know, with the gun violence.
Yeah.
And I suppose I worked with the homeless there as well, and seeing how a country they don't protect these people who are the most vulnerable. And, you know, we're starting to see a bit more of it here.
Yeah.
There's more of a safety net here for people who do fall behind.
Totally.
But there was a lot of stuff going on, and I thought, I think I'd prefer my kids to go back to Ireland and then have the opportunity to come back here, because it was a wonderful place and the people I met were fantastic. But I did want them to know that Mrs. Murphy is watching them if they're downtown stealing sweets.
Okay. Ireland is a great place to look at the rest of the world from. You have to go away to come back. By the way, musically, apart from the story that's woven in behind, musically, it's of a very high standard. You got some great people involved in this project.
Oh, I did. We're very blessed down here in East Cork in that we have access to people who are world class. Elsa Desire, who's a cellist.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to name drop because when she starts talking about the people she's played with, you kind of scratch your head and kind of think, why are you playing with me? She loves to play.
Yeah.
Owen Jordan, who plays at the Diviners, and he played at the Kelly All-Stars. Marissa Sheedy from Super Skunk, a band in Youghal. Gary Cotter. There was Elaine McCarthy, who also plays with the Lost Gecko, and who's a super musician, one of the finest musicians I've ever come across. She plays yellow violin, she sings 2-octave range, she plays piano. My old friends Lawrence Sweeney, Brendan Carr, Claire O'Connor, who was somebody I began this journey with, who was a young student from Trinity, who showed me structure. And then there was one gentleman who was a Vietnam vet, and his voice is actually used on the battle. If you want to have a listen to it, you'll hear his experience of actually being in Vietnam.
Wow.
There's fantastic musicians here. We all work well together. We love the idea of doing something different, and we allowed them to put their stamp on it, and thankfully we're happy with the end result.
When are you going to launch it?
The launch will be tomorrow. It will be on iTunes, Spotify, all the other fantastic platforms that are there, and I think it'll run at like $9.99 or whatever the price was on it. I think you can buy the tracks separately, so have a listen, see which one you like, and if you want to have a look at some of the stuff, you can go on YouTube. We're actually releasing another video today, but there's 3 or 4 videos on there, Street Corner Messiahs, and you can check some of those out as well. And if you do like them, please subscribe, and we'll send you info on if we ever gig again. Oh, one more thing.
Yep.
We are talked with Noggin Theatre Company about maybe turning this into a performance piece as well. Alice Barry, who's the director there, she thinks that we can do something.
There's a very strong narrative underneath it altogether. It's there in the storyline itself. Thanks, Wayne Mcsweeney. Well done, and thanks for putting that story out. It needed to be told.
Thank you, Colin.
So that's Street Corner Messiahs, Tales from the Tenderloin. Out tomorrow on all good record labels online. That's iTunes, Spotify, you know what I mean. And it's also available on CD. So here's a taste of one of the tracks from their CD, which incidentally arrived as I was actually doing the recording of that interview. The postman had knocked on the door the minute I had finished recording. Now, there's synchronicity for you.
It was a rainy night in San Francisco. Darkness conceals the light of day, and the nighttime frightens reality away. He sees his father across the road, and he wonders if he's coming home, and he dreams of the mother he never knew. Take a fast train out of here, forget your worries and all your fear. When you return alone, take a slow train, take it on home.
And that track was called A Voice in San Francisco, from the new album Street Corner Messiah's Tales from the Tenderloin, which will be out tomorrow. And I'm also told that track 4, Fly Robin Fly, was nominated for a Grammy Award. Now.
Hey little bird, why are you so sad? Ain't this the best life you ever had? If you fly away, I'll be mad. Stay, Robin, stay. Hey little bird, why don't you sing? One for the fisher and one for the king. Seize the day, let us all in. Stay, Robin, stay. Fly, Robin, fly, past the moon and on through the sky. Stay, Robin, stay. At the end of the day I saw you broken. Your song was more than just a token. I heard you sing the sweetest song. Hey little bird, why you seem so low? Follow me around, I'll take it slow. Sing me your troubles, got nowhere to go. Stay, Robin, stay. Hey little bird, why am I so sad? This is the hardest winter you've had. You flew away and I didn't get mad. Fly, Robin, fly. Fly, Robin, fly. Fly.